Hi, I'm Mark, this is Mark's Tech Vlogs on YouTube, and today I'm going to do another Homebridge video, and this time I'm going to tell you how to get the Morphy Richards S1 ductless air conditioner into Apple Home using Homebridge. Now, as I said in my review for the Morphy Richards S1, it is compatible with the TUYA network, and if you operate it via an app, you do use the TUYA or Smart Life app. However, if you do try and use the official TUYA Homebridge app, you'll find that it doesn't actually bring it in. That's because it's basically a completely new device type. However, for my own benefit, I've created my own version of that Homebridge plugin that will work with the Morphy Richards S1. And I'm going to share that with you guys. One thing to say at the start of this video is you are going to need to know how to set up the TUYA Homebridge plugin with Homebridge. That involves setting up a developer account with TUYA and doing a couple of other steps. I made a whole other video about that, which I'll link below. When it comes to installing my version of a plugin, you're going to need to reference that just to make sure you've got all the credentials you need. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about the sort of things this actually means you can do with this thing in Apple Home. I'm going to talk about some of the technical side of things, and then I'm also going to talk about how to get it installed. Now I'm going to put chapters below just in case you want to skip the technical side of things, but if you're coming at this as a kind of Homebridge user who knows a bit of code, then actually you might like watching that. Of course, if you want to access the code, I'll put a link below to my GitHub repo as well so you can access all of that. But by the end of this video, your portable air conditioner will be in Apple Home and it will expose 6 different devices. It will have a fan which will let you easily switch between air conditioning modes, so slow, fast, super and long lasting. There will be 3 switches as well, one for each of the modes, so cooling, dehumidifier and fan. There will also be a humidity sensor which comes from the device, and then finally there will be a switch for turning the light on the device on or off. Going into the fan settings a bit more, you'll also be able to toggle on or off the child settings and also the oscillating features. That will do horizontal and vertical at once. That's because in Apple Home there's no way to separate those 2 things. So that's what you're going to end up with. Let's talk about the technical side briefly. So in order to achieve this, I created a fork of the official TUYA plugin from GitHub. That basically means I created my own copy. Firstly, I made a couple of changes so it's ready for Homebridge 2 when it first comes out, and I haven't actually tested it with Homebridge 2, but when that does come out, I'll give it a test and fix anything that needs fixing. Secondly, I added all the code that I needed for this brand new device type. So in the TUYA app, they have all of the device types in the lib folder. So I went into that and I created a brand new one based off of Fan 2. Within that, I added all the extra services we needed as well. So I added the light service for the on-off light. I added the settings for the modes. I exposed this device to the TUYA API. I added some oscillation settings, fan speeds and child locks as well. Then further down in this file, we work out what we need to send to the TUYA API. And the switches themselves are pretty normal, but then I wanted the speed to be able to cover all 4 modes for the air conditioning. So above 75%, it sets it to the strong mode. Between 50 and 75% it sets it to high, between 25 and 50% it sets it to gentle, and then below 25% is the long lasting mode. These have different codes in the TUYA API, so we have strong, high, gentle and sleep, which is what we actually need to send to operate these modes. I also set those 3 mode switches so only one can be on at once. That means if you turn on the dehumidifier, it will turn off the other 2. It means you can easily see what mode it's currently set to. By default, I've got it so the fan sets on the AC because I think that's what most people use this device for. Then I also had to add some extra code into the TUYA SH Open API JS file. That's because we need to use version 2 of the API in order to operate these features. So I basically edited the send command, which checks what is being passed to it and adjusts the commands accordingly. That means if we send switch vertical, which comes from the oscillation, it will also send switch horizontal as well. If it's not any of the special commands we need for this particular device and need to use version 2 for, it will just switch back to V1. That means this will still work with any existing TUYA devices. And then finally, in the index.js file, we import the ductless air conditioner accessory that we created, and we add it into the switch statement that checks device types. And the Morphy Richards S1 has a device type of KS. And they're all the technical changes. I'm telling you about them, so if you want to modify the code and tweak things, you can, and you can create your own fork of my code. But that's it for the technical side, so let's join everyone who skipped ahead and talk about how to get it up and running. So firstly, if you've got the existing TUYA plugin, it's probably best to disable or remove this first. Then in Homebridge, go into plugins and search for my name, which is Mark Tiddy. Hopefully if you search for it as one word, you'll find me appearing alongside the Homebridge locked plugin I also created. If not, you can go back to your homepage in Homebridge and go into the terminal and you can run npm i space at marktiddy/homebridge-tuya-platform-extra. You'll then have to add the TUYA developer credentials under the settings for this new plugin. This will then find all of the TUYA devices on your network hooked up to that developer account, including the Morphy Richards S1. That will just appear automatically in Apple Home, assuming you've already got Homebridge set up there. So let's talk about using it in Apple Home. When it first adds to Apple Home, you're going to need to go in and rename those accessories to something more sensible. That's because by default they come across with basically the same name. If anyone knows how to fix that, let me know, I'll change the code. Now changing these names is easier to do on an iPad or Mac because they are quite long, and so it means you can actually see what should be there. You can see in mine that I've actually changed these names already. And then to put it into cooling mode, you simply toggle the fan dial to where you want it to be. So anything below 25% is long lasting, 25 to 50 is low mode, 50 to 75 is high power, and upwards of 75 is super. Clicking into the fan a bit more, and especially going into the settings, lets you toggle the child lock on or off, and also the oscillation. This will do vertical and horizontal in one. Then for the 3 mode switches, switching them on will turn off the other modes and switch to that particular mode. And then of course the light turns off the light. And then finally the humidity sensor from the device is also exposed. And this means you can add it into any Apple Home automations you want to. So you can set it to respond to the humidity. You can set it to respond to another temperature sensor in your house as well. And that's it. I hope you found this video useful and it helps you get it into Apple Home as well. If you don't even know what Homebridge is and you want to know how to get it up and running on a Raspberry Pi, I do also have a tutorial video for that, which I'll link below. If you've got any questions, stick them below as well and I'll try and help you guys out. If you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful and you'd like to buy me a beer, there's a link below where you can do that as well. If you want to do something that doesn't cost you anything, just give a thumbs up to this video and subscribe to my channel because that really does help me out. I'll see you guys again soon.